Hello everyone, welcome to Pokédex, the channel where I build decks for the Pokemon trading card game. Today I'm really excited because I'm going to be playing another deck with Gengar EX. I really love this card. I mean, it's Gengar and the card is pretty awesome. Dark Corridor is an awesome attack. He deals 60 and he poisons the opponent's active Pokemon, and then Gengar retreats into the bench and switches places with something else, and we are hoping that something else is Trevenant, the one from X and Y. It's a pretty interesting card that has the Forest Curse ability, which says as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent can play any item cards from his or her hand. So we're going to be attacking with Gengar, retreating into Trevenant, locking our opponent out of items, and that's pretty strong if you ask me. The reason that we're playing this deck, well, the deck was around for a little while, but then some rotations happened and it wasn't viable. But now after Breakthrough, we are actually able to play it again, just because very subtle and unassuming card was printed, and that card is Floatstone. Floatstone is back. I'm playing the Plasma Freeze one, but it's back and it was reprinted in Breakthrough, so it's pretty cool. We can play it back in Standard again, and Floatstone allows us to basically retreat from Trevenant. This guy costs 3 energy to retreat, so it's unfeasible to be discarding energy every single turn or playing a switch every single turn, because then we wouldn't have any more space left in our deck. But with a Floatstone we can just stick it in the Trevenant and we are able to retreat from it into the Gengar and attacking over and over again. Another thing that this deck does really nicely is attacking with Trevenant, so this is actually a very good alternative attacker. Tree Slam for Psychic and a double Colorless, or maybe just a Psychic and any other energy. If we have our Psychic Stadium down, Tree Slam does 60 damage to the active and then 20 damage to 2 of our opponent's bench Pokemon. So it's not a bad attack at all. Those are our only Pokemon in the deck that are meant for attacking, and then we have a couple of Shaymin EX over here. This is not the Wobbuffet list, so we can actually play Shaymin, because if we put this guy down, we'll be actually drawing cards. So yeah, maybe this deck gets a little bit more expensive, but at the same time, locking the opponent out of items as soon as turn 1 actually is really nice. So let's start looking to the card numbers and all. So we're playing 2 Shaymin EX, as I mentioned, really important to draw cards and to set up, especially in this type of decks where we want to play supporters that don't draw cards necessarily, like the Wally. So if we want to get the Wally going on the first turn, we will probably going to have to involve something like an Ultra Ball and a Shaymin, stuff like that, to draw extra cards and to be able to draw into the Wally. We have a couple of Gengar EX. I'm only playing 2, despite it being our main attacker, mainly because, well, for one, we can attack with a Trevenant, actually, and it's not that bad. And on this, the other thing is that Super Rod was also reprinted, so we can actually shuffle some guys back. That's also one of the reasons that we're playing a 4-3 Trevenant line. Well, on one hand, I kind of feel like we don't need those many Trevenants, but if we do, we still have the Super Rod in here to shuffle them back, as well as some energy or stuff like that. I am playing for Phantom though, because I really want to start with this guy in the active, because that will allow us to just go and play Wally. I mean, if we start with Gengar or Shaymin, we will be able to retreat from it, but that's just an extra step that we have to go through to be able to lock our opponent out of items on the first turn, and we don't want to have extra steps in that process. So 4-3, by cutting a little bit on a Pokemon and having the Super Rod helping us out, I kind of feel like we have some space for playing disruptive items, and these are the first that I'm talking about. So there's 3 Crushing Hammer and 2 Enhanced Hammer. These are meant to, well, slow the opponent down a little bit, and they are really annoying, and of course really good. I mean, just being able to put our opponent down a turn or 2 is really good with this deck. I love this in the Wobbuffet strategy, where I actually think it's crucial, and here I think it combines really well with item locking our opponent. So yeah, I'm still going with the hammers. As I mentioned, we're playing 1 Super Raw that was reprinted. It's really good, really nice card, really strong. Then there's 4 Trainer's Mail to find our items, and 4 Ultra Ball. These combine really nicely, as I mentioned, to get the Trevenant going on as soon as turn 1, because they grab us the Shaymin, they grab us the Wallies, and all that. And of course, the Trainer's Mail also grabs the Ultra Ball. We are playing 4 VS Seeker. I'm not playing Battle Compressors to put the Wally into the discard pile, mostly because that would be the only thing that the Battle Compressor did. And I mean, if I have the space for Battle Compressor, I think I just up the Wally count. So I'm not going to do that. The thing is, yeah, Via Seeker is still really good to grab as the supporters back from the discard pile and play them again. We have one Judge, another card that was reprinted in the Breakthrough, and this one is actually really good because it disrupts our opponent a lot. And also, if we are running low in deck size, we can actually use Judge to shuffle our hand and just draw 4 cards, so we can put some cards back into our deck that way if the game is going long. And I think that's something that's kind of underrated, but I think it's going to come into play a lot, so Judge can help us with that. We have 2 Lysander here. They allow us to get those very important knockouts on the Pokemon that our opponent might be charging up on the bench, something like that. Then we have 1 Birch, because sometimes we really want to shuffle the cards and not discard them. 4 Sycamore, because it's just that good. 2 Wally. I'm only playing 2. The thing with Wally is it's the perfect supporter for turn 1 if we start with a Phantom, but otherwise it's just terrible. So I'm kind of playing a couple of them because one of them might get prized, but really I just want to see a single Wally each game, and it's on the first turn and never again. So usually, of course, there are exceptions, but usually it's only on the first turn. Plus we have the Via Seeker, so yeah, as long as we can find a Wally on the first turn, I think we will be fine. We have 1 Xerosic. It's another hammer and also removes Spirit Links from our opponent's Pokemon, stuff like that. It also allows us to just play a Headringer on our opponent's Pokemon. And speaking of Headringers, we are playing 2. I can obviously speak of those right now. As far as items to play on our own Pokemon, we are playing a bunch of them. So 3 Floatstones for our Trevenant and 2 Muscle Bands for our Gengar. Of course, these can go on any Pokemon, and sometimes situationally that's really good, and that's the correct play. So keep your eyes open for that. And then I'm playing 3-Dimension Valley. This is not as important as it is on the Wobbuffet deck, because on Wobbuffet you really don't want to commit a lot of energies to be able to attack with the Wobbuffet. But in this deck, since we have the Floatstone, we actually attack with Gengar several times instead of going Gengar Wobbuffet a lot. So yeah, I feel like the Dimension Valley can be cut down to 3. Plus, we aren't that worried about trumping our opponent's stadium like we are in the Gengar Wobbuffet deck, because our opponent healing the damage isn't really that worrisome if we are locking them out of items. So yeah, I kind of feel like we can also go down on these numbers. As far as energy goes, I'm playing 4 Mystery Energy, really nice to just retreat from the Gengar, stuff like that, to be able to do that on the first turn. I'm playing 3 Double Colorless Energy, also allows us to attack with our guys if the stadium is not down, of course, also allows us to bring the Shaymin back into our hand. And then 3 Psychic Energy. I'm not playing as many Psychic Energy as maybe some decks want to, because we are going to be locking our opponent out of items, so they cannot play their own hammers. And of course we also have the Super Rod. If it comes down to that, maybe we can shuffle some energy back into our deck. That's my list. I've been having a lot of success with it. It's, I think, pretty standard, standard for a Trevenant deck list. I guess I am playing the hammers and most people don't. But I kind of feel like it's really nice to play them. Kind of lose some flexibility. Oh, sorry, I'm stumbling on my words a lot today. That we might otherwise have with those slots. Maybe we could play some other Pokemon, stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like the hammers fix a lot of matchups sometimes. We can get rid of energy from Giratina and stuff like that. So I think this is pretty nice. That's my playlist. That's my list. So let's play it. And I have to say this is actually a hard deck to record, because a lot of people just concede as soon as they see the Trevenant on the first turn. So I'll just try to find a match that I can show you guys. So see you in a minute. Alright, let's go. What? My opponent is playing a lot of different types, so I don't really know what to expect here. Let's see what the coin flip says. Okay, we are calling it, and it's tails, we say. So yeah, tails, we won the coin flip. So I think I'll start. Sorry, I'm still healing from a little bit of a cold, so... Okay, we start off with the Phantom. Let's see if we manage to get to the Wally on the first turn, which would be awesome. We also have energy, so I think what we need here is probably an Ultra Ball or something like that. So let's see. Okay, we got Enhanced Hammer. This kind of sucks because it seems like we're not getting the Wally on the first turn, so let's just put this thing here. Maybe we need to retreat next turn or something. Let's see. Okay, we flip tails, which is Pretty terrible. We'll be able to evolve next turn, but ugh. Yeah, I think I'll keep this in my hand. I don't know what I'll need next turn. Maybe. Good news is I don't think my opponent will be able to kill our Phantom. So just hope it doesn't play a million tools and items here, so that we can at least have some impact on his gameplay. If he plays a Spirit Link, I think we're kind of in trouble. But yeah, I don't know. So he's playing Karina. Just searches for fighting Pokemon. That kind of makes me feel like he's playing the Mewtwo that attacks for fighting energy as well. I haven't played against that deck actually, so this is pretty cool. We are playing against a new deck. Not a huge fan of that Mewtwo. I think it's a lot of work, but I don't know, maybe it's good. Kind of feels like 3 energy attachments and a mandatory stadium to be able to attack. It's not so much the types of energy, different types of energy that worry me about that card, but if I was playing that card myself, but the fact that you have to attach 3 and drop the stadium kind of feels a little bit like Groudon, but the Mega Mewtwo doesn't have the ancient trait, so yeah, my opponent grabs it. And it seems like he's playing Volcarona as well, which is pretty funny. Yeah, that's a way to find the Mewtwo from your deck and put it into play with the energy that you need, I guess. So I just hope I can find card draw here, or else we are just dead. Okay, we got a VS Seeker, so that means we can actually go for that Birch Observations. Okay, we got an Ultra Ball, that's pretty cool. I will be able to play a Wally, but I don't really know if I want to, because, let's see. I can actually evolve naturally. So I think I'll just go for the Shaman first. And I think I'll play it, because I don't know which supporter I want to be playing. Let's draw. Okay, we haven't found the Trevenant that we needed, but we did use the hammer, so I think I'll just go for the Birch, hope for the best. I kind of feel like we need to. I mean, if I was getting the Trevenant, I kind of feel like we also need energy. So yeah, Tails again. Still no Trevenant, but we do have the Gengar, and I think at this point I'm just going to start charging it up and just hope for the best. Could play the Floatstone, but at the same time, yeah, I can just retreat for free, so I'm just going to save the Floatstone in my hand. Maybe it's useful. Okay, let's put the damage counters on the Mewtwo, I guess. If it evolves, it goes to 230, I think. So kind of need to be careful of that. The Mewtwo is weak to us, so I mean, both the Mewtwo and Lucario are, so I guess that has to be good. But at the same time, we have a very poor start here. We flipped Tails twice on the Birch's Observation, so well, we did flip heads on the hammer. It's kind of late, so I'm stumbling a little bit on my words, and so I hope I don't make a lot of mistakes here. That would kind of ruin the video for you guys, I know, so I get a lot of complaints when I misplay, so I'll try not to do that. Our opponent is taking a little bit of time to think about his play, but yeah, there's the switch. Okay, maybe he's going for, yeah, he's going to offer us a Shaman. At the same time, I can just keep eating his guys on the bench, so. And my opponent Mega evolves here. Okay, we have an Ultra Ball, so that's nice. I hope I have the Shaman there. I didn't check. Yeah, we do. I was kind of forced to discard the Floatstone. Not kind of, I was really forced to discard the Floatstone, but yeah, I don't care. I mean, we still have another 2 in our deck. Okay, we got Trevenants here. We need to put this baby down, I think, maybe. I don't know, let's see. I'm going to play this thing first. Let's see what we get. Okay, we got a bunch of Dimension Valleys and a Wally. I don't think I need a Wally, but I'm going to draw it so that I can discard it with an Ultra Ball. So this way I can just go Ultra Ball and Wally, grab another Phantom, so I have two different guys on my bench. Okay, I can play one of them but not the other. And the energy, I'm going to put it on Gengar. So now I can actually Dark Corridor. I don't think my opponent has any way to... well, he probably plays AZ, but other than that I think that Shaymin might stay there for a little bit. And even if my opponent manages to retreat from it, it's still on the bench with some damage counters, so it's still at 40 HP, so I guess the math doesn't work perfectly here because I didn't have the Muscle Band, but at the same time my opponent is item locked, so can't play switches. I can't play the Birch, and of course he draws heads, so he flips heads. Can we please draw a supporter? Preferably a Sycamore, that would be best for us. Shaymin is in range. Oh, we drew an energy, that's super good. I can just attack with the Trevenant. I think I'm just going to do that. And hope I draw... okay, this guy does a lot of damage and it will knock me out. I mean, knock out my Trevenant, so hopefully I can just hit it with my Mewtwo and deal a lot of damage. But my opponent is only taking one prize, unless he plays a Lysander. I don't know, let's see. So this guy, I can hit it for 170 with a Mewtwo if I find a Muscle Band, so I think it's worth it to put the damage counters there. And could go for the Landorus, yeah, because it's the hardest thing to kill. The Shaymin is actually pretty easy because as the math falls, we can just go Gengar, and then the opponent retreats. Oh, I guess it also works on the lander. So yeah, just forget what I was going to say. So it's 90 plus 30. Yeah, it's 120. Okay. Our opponent, I think, is just going to knock our Trevenant out, but at the same time, we will be dealing a lot of them. Oh man, he's grabbing our Gengar. Okay. That kinda sucks, but at the same time, we are still going to be dealing 120 damage to that dude, so... And he also accelerates one energy. He doesn't really need it. Maybe he's scared that we play the... some sort of hammer, and we do, so... I guess... This is a very scary board state, so I'm just going to put this thing on this Trevenant, because I want to play my supporter that draws cards, so I want to get the energy down beforehand. Yeah, just have to play this guy. Hopefully flipping heads this time. Oh, nope, tails again. Alright, let's see here. I'm going to put the damage on the Lucarios. Might help us get the 1-hit KO now, because they are down to 160. So with the Muscle Band we can actually kill them with a Gengar, if we manage to get the Gengar out, so... He's just going to kill our Trevenant, or maybe just Lysander out Shaymin, which I wouldn't care too much about, to be honest. Oh, there's an AZ, okay, so he goes for the Shaymin. I'm just glad I didn't put some damage counters there. It would have been wasted. Oh, goes for the Larvest and actually plays an energy there, okay. He's getting ready for when I kill his Mewtwo EX. So my plan is going to be get rid of the Mewtwo EX next turn, preferably drawing some sort of Psychic energy, and then... okay, so we got the Floatstone, that's good. I think I play it here. And then we're going to try to bring some Lucario back to the active position, maybe. Okay, we got some Trevenant in there, but we also discarded the Super Rod, so there's no other Trevenant coming down, so it's no good playing this thing, so just going to put the Psychic Energy here, or the Mystery Energy, and maybe I play the Headringer, but I kind of feel like I want to give my opponent an opportunity to bring a Lucario to the active position. I don't think he will do that right now, but I think he's just going to go with a Volcarona. Alright, so as long as our opponent doesn't use the Judge on us, I think we are looking decently good, because those Lucarios are at 140, so I'm getting really close to knocking one of them out. Did our opponent just drop a Shaymin down? Yeah, that's not great for him, because that means he's not going to be able to use Volcarona. Maybe he just wants to get Volcarona to soak up some damage, and he didn't have any fighting energy, so he might as well just put the Volcarona up, because he can retreat it. I guess that's what my opponent was going for, but I don't know. Playing the Shaymin seems so bad here. Maybe he already has the Pokemon and the energy in his hand, but just Shaymin is just going to draw him into useless items most of the time, so maybe he's just really desperate to draw the Sycamore or something like that. Because Trevenant is such a great attacker, and he's a non-EX, okay, so our opponent just concedes the game. We were going to probably knock out a Lucario in a turn or two, so that seems pretty nice. I mean, we kind of had a rough start, but we just managed to flip things over and just turn the table. As I was saying, Trevenant is a non-EX, but it's such a great attacker that we can just, especially against Mewtwo's, we can just hit him for weakness, for a lot of damage, and then the opponent trades with us, but he's not trading in prizes, because we are drawing more prizes than he is. So yeah, I guess that's the deck. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I guess the opponents aren't, because they concede a lot of times. But I hope you guys enjoy this. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye!